Hi, thanks for the follow. Pog Morphy. That's funny. Pog Morphy. Professional online gaming Morphy, baby. What's up? Sawblade wants to join the channel. Who's Sawblade? Who are you, Sawblade? I like Pog Morphy name. Sweet. Digging it. You want to see a famous Paul Morphy game? I'll show you guys real quick. The most famous game of chess ever played. I'll put the marker on. See if I can make a story out of this. Make a lesson. All right, new room. All right, let me see if I can even remember. All right, most famous game in chess history ever by Paul Morphy. Of all the players, more famous than Bobby Fischer, more famous than any Kasparov game. This is the most famous game of chess in all of chess history. It is called Paul Morphy versus the Duke Izard and the Count Duke of Brunswick and the Count Izard. It was played in Paris, France. It was played between a Duke and a Count who played together in their strength to try and beat Paul Morphy. He was already known as the strongest on the planet Earth. They invited him over, and they knew that Paul Morphy loved the opera. So they invited him to play this game of chess while watching an opera. And if that isn't down and dirty, but, you know, of course Paul Morphy's going to accept. All right? With that kind of memory, should be a grandmaster, all right? No, this is just one of the many, many lessons. I've been teaching chess for over 20 years. So, I forget the date. 1890 something. Maybe 1896? Maybe. I could be way off. Don't quote me on that. But these two shysters wanted to get every advantage, you know, 2 against 1 at the opera. Paul Morphy had to travel to get there, you know. He's more interested in the opera than he is playing these guys in chess. But here it is, the game of chess. King's pawn, king's pawn. Knight pops out to hit the pawn, and they play a pierce, or you know, just simple move defending their pawn. Paul Morphy brings out his bishop, and they bring out their bishop. Am I getting confused here? No. Morphy plays this move, hitting the pawn and threatening this. Pawn takes, queen takes, king takes, knight takes, and the bishop is no longer pinning a knight, because if the queen takes this queen here, then the bishop's actually hitting nothing, right? So when this knight comes, it's with the win of a pawn. Beautiful. Threat. All right. So bishop takes first. A bit of a mistake. Maybe pawn takes is just regular and correct. But bishop takes, queen takes. Threatening a bit like the 4-move checkmate. All right. So now we have a bit of a scholar's mate threat here. Black decides to defend their pawn, and this is not the best move. They, in this game, should probably play knight to f6, something very simple. Or even queen to d7, guarding this way. Because queen to e7 hems in the bishop. Pretty nasty. This bishop is a big problem now. It's going to take 2 moves to get him out anywhere. Going to have to move the queen again to get him out. Alright, 2 moves to get the bishop out. Remember that. Also, oops. Wait. They did play knight f6, didn't they? Wait. What did they play here? I forget what they played. I think they did play knight f6. Let me think. Queen to b3, threatening to go in here and take the pawn at the same time. Yeah, this is the game. Now queen to e7. Okay, again, queen to d7. It's better. So queen to e7. Did he take here? Gotta go back one more. Hold on. Take. Take. Now queen to here. So this file is open. That's all I remember. The file is open. So queen to e7. And since this was a double threat, he can take here right now. But the biggest lesson that we learned from Paul Morphy is that he's so strong. He can go in here and he can play, all right? But there's a trick. Black would get this check in, forking the king and the queen. So queen takes, bishop takes with check. And, you know, he'd get away with a pawn, but black's development would be fine. They could come back and then castle, and they'll be fine. Okay, down a pawn, lots of activity still. So the true brilliance of Paul Morphy's style and what he showed everyone that they didn't know about is that development is way more important, so much more important. So he brought out the knight to guard the pawn and go into this square. And now black has a moment to guard b7. So yes, he could have captured this, but it would do nothing. And he's also guarding queen to b4 check. It won't be check because he placed the knight in the way. So now he does actually technically threaten b7. But he used the attack on this pawn and not capturing the pawn for material for tempo. So to get out more new force, to get out more pieces. And that's just brilliant. Black has to play something to guard their pawn. They feel obligated to do that, so they play c6, and now the queen is protecting the pawn along the rank. And so bishop g5, every piece is in the game now. This is there, this is controlling central squares here, this is attacking that. Like, everything is just nasty. And on top of it all, this knight is pinned, so he's not so happy. And now black really needs to focus on, like, getting their king unraveled. They should play this, get their bishop out, and castle. Something like that. Or even bishop here and just let the pawn hang. Like, forget the pawn. You can't do anything with it. They have a problem here. You're going to see in a second. They play b5. This, you may think, is attacking a piece. And this is the 1000. This is like the 1000 rated player to 1500 and anyone lower. This seems like an aggressive attacking move, but it's an outright blunder due to clear calculation. Most of us believe that Paul Morphy saw this to the very end, and it's actually, it's mate. It's mate coming or loss of a queen. It's ridiculous. This lesson is a long calculation. Knight takes. Alright, we have every piece in the game except for our rooks so far. Black has not their knight or rook or bishop or rook, and their king is not safe. These are not in the game correctly. So we can absolutely sacrifice material, but what's even more fun is that it's clear. If the king moves over, we're just going to castle with check, get another piece in the game, continue attacking. We're happy. So black tries to block with the piece. If he blocks with the other knight, we take the queen. If he blocks with the queen, we take the queen. If he moves the king, we castle with check. So this move seems to make sense. Now, white castles with check, or not with check, but bringing more new force into the game. This piece is pinned. If he moves, you lose the queen. This piece is now pinned. If he moves, your king's in check. This king has nowhere to go but an open file that the rook lives. That would be terrible. And there's a threat. If it were my turn, I would take this. If queen takes, rook takes. Now you might say, well, why would queen take? Well, if knight takes, bishop gets queen. Everything is tied up here. Everything is tied up. There's only one defensive move left. Rook d8. And here comes the true brilliance of what and who Paul Morphy really is. He played rook takes. This is just beyond genius. This is the stuff that they just were not ready for. Paul Morphy was ahead of his time. This is a Bobby Fischer type move. This is a Kasparov. This is an aggressive attacking move with a long calculation behind it. It's forced. Knight can't take. He could, but you lose the queen. Definitely lose that game. Queen doesn't want to take. All right, so rook takes. Seems simple. It looks like they just came here. They're playing very simple, logical moves, right? We bring the last piece into the game. Every single piece that white ever owned has now become part of the game. A safe king, he can move to the side if he ever needs to. The pawns, they don't mean anything at the moment. They're guarding the center, holding the center back. And what this truly comes down to is piece activity. White has brought every piece into the game with force. This piece still cannot guard because it's pinned, saving the queen. This piece cannot move because it's saving the king. So naturally we come over and attack the final piece who can't be defended. Now if the queen takes, bishop takes, knight takes, we take the queen. You see, everything is hanging on by a thread here. Black plays queen to e6, trying to relieve the pressure, get rid of the queen. Now, if we were silly and we take, they take back, all the pressure is gone. If we take here, they take us, oh, they can't take with check. Okay, so we are gonna get some material back. That's interesting. So on takes, we wanna take here. And we might, yeah, we'll get some material back. And I don't know, black can try to survive this. Black's probably, you know, not better. But this would be a mistake. That's silly. Morphy saw the end of the game. Right here. He played bishop takes, which actually attacks the king and the queen at the same time. Well, if queen takes, rook takes. That's if. If king just move, we take the king, the queen. So naturally, that leaves knight takes d7. Correct? Let's see if you can find the last two moves. And it's believed that Paul Morphy saw this position that's about to happen. Oops. Hold on. We have to promote this. Where's the rest of it? Whoops, that's the wrong one. We have to promote this also. Yeah, I had done other moves first. That's not correct. We have to promote this. So this is a real game. It's believed that Paul Morphy saw this position right here and the ability to win this game right here, the final blow. It's believed that he saw it all the way back here, which is crazy. This is because it is rather forcing, and it is the most beautiful game we have in chess. The immortal game. This is known as the immortal game. It's known as the Opera House Massacre. It's known as, you know, Morphy versus Duke and Count. The most famous game in chess history. Let's see if you can figure out the mate. Mate in 2. He knows it. Pog Morphy knows the Twitch clan, baby. He comes in with the answer. Earning his name, Pog Morphy. Let's go. Queen to b8. Beautiful. Queen to b8. This is crushing. So he has to take. And rook to d8 mate. 2 pieces left in the game. Who cares? All we need is 2 pieces. I don't care you got the whole army. They didn't do anything. These guys couldn't do anything the whole game. They were crushed the whole game. Paul Morphy stuck it to him every single move. It was going according to Paul's plan. That's insane. That's incredibly insane. All again while watching the opera, caring not about his chess game. He was there to see the opera, and these guys, they're so sneaky. They whipped out the chessboard while he was there. They actually invited him to watch the opera, and then they snuck out the chessboard. They were like, well, since you're here, Paul, you're the greatest player, huh? How about us two play you? And Paul was like, yes, fine. This is incredible. Just the whole series of moves. And I knew an instructor. Yeah, total GG for him. GG for chess. This is a historic game of chess. This is for everyone. You should, if you memorize games, this should be a game. I used to have 100 games memorized, 100 or even more. And I was trying to memorize the most important games of chess ever played. This one stuck to my memory. I don't remember what my list is, and I don't remember which ones I know anymore. But of course, this one, De Legal, a bunch of the early games, Greco, Paul Morphy games, Adolf Anderson, a lot of games. But every move is forced. Look at this, pinning it, attacking the center. This is Paul Morphy's stickler move. This is his stipend move. Everybody knows that Paul Morphy wants the wide open game, and there's a reason to that. This just helping Paul. Come on, he's attacking the center. Take. This is where it went. Take. Yeah. Now I gotta play the whole game again. No. That's not where it went. I don't know. Where's my moves? Where am I? Knight f6? Let's promote that. Maybe this will help me. Attacking here and here. Where are my lines? Why can't I just go down the game? I have not been an instructor for a while, man. I have taken a nice long break, haven't I? Here we are. Whatever this line needs to be promoted. Here we go. Now I should be able to go straight down the game. Here we go. Pinning it. Yes. This was the game. That's just beautiful chess. Every move forceful. Every move forceful. And the true secret of Paul Morphy, why he likes the open game, is I knew an instructor in the Bay Area who would give a free lesson on Thursdays at the Colty Chess Club in Campbell, California. And his name was Francisco and Del Rosario. And he is one of my friends here still on chess.com. You can look him up in my friends list. And he would tell the kids, and I was there, I was much older than kids. I learned chess at 21. I'm a statistical anomaly. I learned chess very late in life. And to be able to be any good at chess, learning it so late as I did, is just, I'm an anomaly. I'm an outlier. What it comes down to is solid, hard work. Lots and lots of work. I read 70 books on chess. I was tired of getting destroyed, crushed, beaten. I memorized chess games. I did play. I played on Netscape Pogo. I played on Yahoo Chess. I played on ICC. I played on FICS. I played on, chess.com has everything. Chessbase, Playbait, Play Chess, whatever. I played on every network. Just play, hundreds, millions, thousands of games, and, now I'm okay at chess. Just decent. I'm an expert, and I guess I could be happy and retire, but I want the master title. Now, Frisco Del Rosario gave a lesson, and it was like every week it was the same thing. He wanted a game like this because his motto was more new force. Every single move that you play in the game of chess should bring out more new force. How do we do that? Well, e4 is a force to be reckoned with. It lets out our bishop, lets out our queen. This is the very best move you can play scientifically because it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new squares of the chessboard. Second best is a queen's pawn opening. It takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new squares of the chessboard. We can't count this, we already had this. So we don't count the bishop there. We don't count this because we already have that. Ton of pressure there. Okay, we don't count that. But we have 6 versus 8. Scientifically, best by test. Bobby Fischer called it best by test. We just believe in Bobby Fischer the easy way that he said it with a little rhyme. Best by test. Okay. E5. So these guys didn't make a mistake. That's the best reply. Knight F3 has got to be the very best second move. It has to be. Putting pressure and showing who is white. White is the attacker, black is the defender. Black will always defend in the game of chess. White will have to make a mistake for black to be ahead in tempo and be like playing like white. Okay? He might even have to lose 2 tempos. White might have to lose 2 tempos for black to gain a big initiative. Might technically take 2 mistakes from white for black to play like white. So black is the defender. This is not the best defending move there is. Knight to c6, it should be the very best. If I bring out a piece attacking a pawn, he should bring out a piece attacking a pawn. Also defending, not just ignoring and doing the copycat trap. We know tit for tat that white is going to crush through their attack first. So bishop c4, attacking. More new force. Bishop comes out, pinning a piece. Fine. White plays for the open game. Maybe this isn't more new force just yet. Castling could be considered more new force. Knight to c3, more new force. But pawn to d4 does count in there because it's an open game. It will add more new force of this. The bishop is now free. The knight has an extra square. So, in a way, it's more new force. And they haven't done anything crazy. We're still 2 pieces ahead. Not ahead, but we're 2 pieces to 1. So we're ahead in the point count. We're ahead by 1. Take, take. Well, this brings in more new force. When he takes, to take is often a mistake. It just, we recapture and we bring in more new force. We're hitting a square. Clear plan. Trying to guard their square. All right, we take, hitting the knight, more new force. Queen to b3. Now technically we moved the same piece twice. And we're not really bringing more new force, but we are attacking 2 places. So this is the principle of 2 weaknesses. Another inaccuracy. Okay, so this was better. Just little inaccuracies everywhere. Knight to d5, guarding our pawn and threatening more new force. Trying to guard their pawn. Not getting out more new force. It's not a piece out on the board. It's not a piece out. It's not a safe king. It's just a little pawn move. Defending. Blindly defending. Bishop g5, more new force. Now the knight is pinned. A new piece came off the back row. More new force. Attacking the bishop. Now we have so much force. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2 in the point count. So we can live with giving up some material, especially when it goes into clear, solid, and determined checks. Only move. There is no other move. More new force. Castling. Getting safe and bringing in the rook. More new force. More new force. Finally, black does a defending move. It's necessary. But rook takes just brilliant, crushing, smashing the defenses. Why? To bring in more new force. This is the key move. This honestly is the key move. You go all the way back here. Who's the only one not playing? Well, this rook. This rook. Well, we can figure this out. Even us regular people can figure this move out. We bring the rook in. But this move, for the sake of our other rook, to bring in our last new force, this move is so brilliant. It's so ridiculous. It's historic. Everything's pinned. It's pinned. It's pinned. This is tied down to the defense of both of these and in the area here. This is blocked. This can't play. Every piece is playing for white. more new force has ended up to be overworked. Everything black is overworked. That's all you need to know. It's just principle. Queen to e7. I mean, what else could they do? If they go here, I could still just take. He can't take. I got the queen. So, I mean, I could just take. King can't take the rook. This game is great. Queen e6 looks regular. Looks like he's getting out of it. But this is a fork. Giving this for this. You see, it was all unstoppable. It's ridiculous. So, major kudos to Morphy. Paul Morphy, I mean. And welcome to the channel, Pog. Yeah, I guess that's worthy of a marker. Guess we'll make a lesson out of that. Maybe post to YouTube. Yeah, right. I doubt it. I'm not good enough on the fly anymore. I couldn't even remember the moves. Pretty sure that that's there might be some inaccuracy in here. When the pawn captured, I'm not sure. I think it's now. I'm pretty sure it's now. Yeah. If not, it could have been somewhere else. This is the only inaccuracy in my game so far. From memory. So, pretty fun. I'll save this classroom. Let me take the link so I can remember it and refer back to it someday if I ever care to. I have a few chess.com classrooms saved up. So we're gonna hang on to that little lesson there, and if you guys want to see that you need to be a subscriber, and it's going to be in the highlights, I'll bet. I might put it there in the highlights for smoke. Let's play a few moves.